Welcome live to Holt Fieldhouse here on the campus of Carson-Newman University as we have an in-state SAC matchup tonight between the Tusculum Pioneers and the Carson-Newman Eagles. Tusculum comes into this one 7-3, 3-0 in the SAC, and Carson-Newman has had some success against this Tusculum team, especially last year, sweeping them 3-0 in 3 matchups, one coming in the SAC semis in which Carson-Newman won that one 3-1. Will be a challenge tonight for the Eagles as we're getting ready to get underway here at Holt Fieldhouse. A little bit of a rivalry tonight. Carson-Newman comes in off a win against Emory and Henry just a couple nights ago, in which they really dominated that one. 3-0 the Eagles won. Pretty dominant performance, especially in set number 3 against the Wasps. First 2 sets, they kind of started out a little bit slow, but then quickly pulled away. And in set number 3, they're ahead all the way through. Looking at the starters for Tusculum, you got Madison Adkins, Allie Freeland, Amaya Burrows, who has 990 kills on her career, Jordan Anderson, Martina Foster, and Bailey Parker. Kaylee Sosnowski, the libero tonight. For the Eagles, it's the usual suspects as we are now underway. All ball near side, Langford pokes it over. Now a kill attempt by Tusculum, and they will get it. That's number 4, Madison Atkins, with the kill to start this one off. 1-0, Tusculum with the early lead. Freeland back to serve for Tusculum. 1-0, the Pioneers lead. Freeland with the serve goes to Hafey. All ball far side, Wheeler. Now Freeland gets it over for Tusculum. McCombs pokes it over to Adams. Nice dig there by Sosnowski. Now Burrows will get it over. Langford pokes it over, and she scores to make it 1-1 in the early going. Nice job by Molly Langford there to get it over and in. Just poked it, found the near side area to get it. As now Julia Wheeler will serve for Carson-Newman. 1-1 your score. Wheeler gets it over, and that's an ace for Julia Wheeler. Allie Freeland couldn't quite handle that one, and Carson-Newman takes a 2-1 lead. Good start for the Eagles. Fell behind 1-0, but 2 consecutive points. Wheeler will serve again. Goes to Freeland this time, she gets it. Poked over by number 20, Martina Foster. Now all ball near side, Weaver. Now Burrows will get it over for the Pioneers. McCombs for Weaver. Sosnowski with the dig. Burrows far side. All ball sets it far side for Langford. Deflected at the net. Kept in play by Tusculum. Burrows now far side. Nice reception there by McCombs. Now Weaver gets it over. Block attempt at the net by Madison Adkins, but it trickles away from Tusculum, and Carson-Newman leads 3-1. A nice kill there by Skylar Weaver. Got off the hands of Madison Atkins at the net. Now Freeland can't handle this one, and Julia Wheeler with her second service ace in the early going as Carson-Newman takes an early 4-1 lead. 2 aces so far for Wheeler, as now she'll serve again. This time Burrows on the far side, and it gets away from Weaver. Amaya Burrows showing why she has 990 kills on her career. 4th in Tusculum history. She'd be 9th in Tusculum history. All-SAC first team selection and all-tournament team in 2022. Near side Weaver. Freeland with the dig. Far side Burrows again, this time blocked at the net, but Carson-Newman cannot handle it. Amaya Burrows with another kill. 4-3 your score. Carson-Newman still in front. Martina Foster will serve again. Foster with the serve. Received by Wheeler. Far side it's Langford, blocked at the net. McCombs giving chase. All ball will have to get it over. She does. Set Burrows again, this time right into the net. Couldn't tell if that was a block or Burrows just couldn't quite get it over. As Carson-Newman gets a point, 5-3 the score. See on the replay here, it looked like right into the net Amaya Burrows went, as that's an error for her. 5-3 Carson-Newman with the lead. McCombs will serve. Freeland receives. Far side this time, it's Bailey Parker. All ball now to Wheeler. Wheeler gets it to Sosnowski. This time Foster pokes it over, but good dig there by All Ball, and now it's Adams that scores. Another hard strike near the net. Taylor Adams gets Carson-Newman their 6-point of set number 1. 6-3 the Eagles lead. 9 points through this one as McCombs with the serve. Burrows far side pokes it over. Great placement by Amaya Burrows as she gets her second kill. Reared back like she was going to strike it pretty hard, but pulled up and placed it well. Substitute in for Tusculum. It's number 24, Whitney Thompson. Now it'll be Adkins back to serve. Far side for Adams, blocked at the net. McCombs sets it for Wheeler. She gets it over. As now Burrows far side with the kill once again. They're going to Amaya Burrows early and often tonight, as Carson-Newman couldn't quite block that one at the net. As Tusculum now within 1.
Let's go Eagles!
Adkins with the serve. All ball far side. Weaver gets it over. Now it'll be Thompson, received by All Ball. Now Langford just pokes it over. And Burrows again. This time Carson-Newman still can't quite get to it, as Amaya Burrows now 4 kills in 9 attempts, and just 1 error so far, as we're all tied up at 6. Looked like Carson-Newman was a little bit more prepared for the poke that Amaya Burrows has factored in. She's mixed it up well. She's gone for the hard kill, and she's also tried to place it. Carson-Newman starting to get a read on Burrows, but still she's able to get that one in and score for Tusculum. Little run here for Tusculum. Adkins will serve. Now Wheeler. Nice dig by Adkins. Far side again. Burrows this time. She scores once again. Carson-Newman can't quite get up there to block it. It was Langford and Weaver at the net, but Amaya Burrows just overpowering Carson-Newman in set number 1.
Let's go Eagles!
Weaver and Langford right there, just couldn't quite get it. As now it's Weaver. She'll poke it, and it finds the back line. Carson-Newman scores. Great job by Weaver to get it over the head of the back row of Pioneers to score. And we're all tied up at 7. That time Weaver just got it over the head of Adkins on the back row. As now it's Blair Cherry in to serve. Burrows tries to receive it but cannot. That's a service ace for Carson-Newman. It's 3rd of the game so far. None so far for Tusculum. So Carson-Newman's been successful on the serve. 3 of their 8 points coming via the serve as Cherry serves once more. Burrows can't quite handle it. Sosnowski keeps it in play. Adkins will get it over. Nice recovery by Tusculum. As now Weaver far side. Adkins to Foster, blocked at the net. Sosnowski keeps it in play. And now Freeland goes for the kill. Hits off the top of Holt Fieldhouse. Now Wheeler will poke it back row once again. Allie Freeland playing a little too far up there. As Wheeler pokes it past the back row once again. Carson-Newman has had some success finding the back line there, as the Eagles retake the 9-7 lead. Cherry serves once again. Sosnowski. Now Burrows keeps it in play. Freeland will get it over. Near side now for Kieran. She scores, placing it right in front of the diving Amaya Burrows. Carson-Newman now 3 straight points to take the 10-7 lead. 4 straight points. A 4-0 run for Carson-Newman. That time Taylor Kieran gets in on the action. Cherry back to serve her 5th consecutive point here. Back and forth we go in set number one. We knew coming in this would be a good sack matchup. Two in-state rivals tonight. It's now far side, Burrows. Another kill for Amaya Burrows. And she continues to roll in the first set. Carson-Newman just not able to block her quite yet. She's used her power well tonight. 6 kills and 8 points for the Pioneers. Burrows with the serve. Cherry far side Adams. She's blocked, but she keeps it in play. Far side now Weaver blocked once again. Straight back to Adams. And now Wheeler gets it by Sosnowski for the kill. Julia Wheeler with a big swing, and she scores. Good recovery by the Eagles. They found Wheeler, and she punched it right by Kaylee Sosnowski. Trinity Hafey checks in. She'll serve. 11-8 the score. The Eagles lead. As Burrow receives. Near side now for Thompson, and she gets it by Bennett McCombs. Tusculum strikes back. Whitney Thompson, her first kill on the night. Amaya Burrows leads all scorers with 6. Sosnowski will serve. Good reception there by Hafey. Now Wheeler. Freeland keeps it in play. Thompson once again. Nice dig by Cherry. McCombs to Wheeler. She'll get it over. That time Tusculum playing the back line well. As Thompson now blocked at the net by Julia Wheeler and Taylor Kieran. As the Eagles back on the board, 12-9 your score. That time the Eagles successful in the blocking attempt. Haven't had much luck with Burrows. Good job overall on the digs and the block. As Taylor Adams will serve, Burrows receives. This one to Martina Foster, and they're going to say point for Tusculum. A violation, I believe, on Taylor Adams, they're saying. As Bennett McCombs checks back in. 12-10, Carson-Newman leads. The Eagles' tough road stretch to start the year. Went to a couple invitationals. Returned home 3-6 in a lot of competitive matchups out of conference. But so far, 2-0 in conference. As Martina Foster finds herself wide open near the net and gets the kill, one touch, to make it a 1-point game. Good job by Foster. Didn't try anything special with that one. Just found the back line wide open. It's Blair Cherry now to Wheeler. Sosnowski gets it over. Now at the net, Foster awarded the point on a net violation by Carson-Newman. As Ashley Tiernan says some words to the back row, and Hafey and McCombs. Did look like maybe Blair Cherry reached over there. It's far side now, Kieran. Near side for number 26, Michaela Willie. And she gets the kill. Tusculum takes the lead. As they're back in front for the first time since it was 1-0. It's a good job by Willie near the net there. As Cherry sets it up for Emma Grace Cobb, and it finds the back line. Point for Carson-Newman. Just grazing that back line did Emma Grace Cobb. She's got it through both rows of defenders. And we're all tied up at 13, about halfway through set number 1. Carly Allball will serve for Carson-Newman. Freeland receives, now right back to Allie Freeland, and she gets stuffed at the net. An error for Allie Freeland, and Carson-Newman's back on top, 14-13. Allball will serve again for Carson-Newman. Received by Sosnowski and Freeland, and now Foster with an error. Back-to-back errors for the Pioneers. And Carson-Newman takes a 2-point lead. Some errors so far for Tusculum. 4 attack errors, now 5 for the Tusculum Pioneers. Allball with the serve and the ace right past Allie Freeland. Carson-Newman leads by 3. The service ace once again playing a role for the Eagles tonight. Their fourth so far here in set number 1. 16-13, Eagles with the lead. Looking to get out in front in set number 1. Freeland maybe trying to wipe off the floor there. As Amaya Burrows gives her some reassurance, it's all good. As all ball will serve once again for Carson-Newman. 4-0 run for the Eagles. Burrows with the reception. Far side, Freeland blocked as Burrows keeps it in play. Now Amaya Burrows pokes it over. All ball sets near side. Wheeler with the kill on the far sideline. Julia Wheeler. 4th kill on the night. Timeout, Tusculum. Just a rocket to the far sideline, right past the diving Sosnowski. Carson-Newman leads by 4. As we'll take a quick break right here on the Eagle Sports Network. Ryan Wilkes back on the Eagles Sports Network here from Holt Fieldhouse on the campus of Carson-Newman University as the Eagles use a 5-0 run to get back out in front, 17-13, trailed 13-12 going into it. As the Eagles will take the court. Carly Allball, 5 straight points for her, including 1 service ace. Carson-Newman out in front by 4. Julia Wheeler with the last kill, her 4th of the game. All ball with the serve. Far side now. As all ball sets for Langford. Now Sosnowski giving chase, tries to keep it in play but cannot. As Molly Langford with the kill. 6 straight points for Carson-Newman in an 18-13 lead. Good far side set by Allball, got it to Langford. Right past 2 diving Pioneers. Sosnowski couldn't quite retrieve it. As all ball with the serve, Freeland receives. Near side now, Freeland, and she scores. As Emma Graves-Cobb and Julia Wheeler cannot quite combine for the block, that breaks the 6-0 scoring run for the Eagles. 18-14, Eagles lead the Tusculum Pioneers. Both teams looking to stay undefeated in the SAC. Freeland with the serve, McCombs. All ball now to Adams, and that one is just wide near the Tusculum bench. Good, nice idea there by, that was Langford. Just couldn't quite find the sideline. Freeland will serve. That one's wide, a service error for the Pioneers. Point for Carson-Newman. First service error of the game for either side. 19-15, Carson-Newman leads. A 6-1 run for the Eagles. Wheeler will serve. Near side now. And that one, block attempt at the net, but it gets by as Michaela Willie with the kill. Or her 2nd of the game, and it's 19-16. Carson-Newman's been in control for most of the first set. Been very competitive as Martina Foster serves. All ball near side of Weaver, and she pushes it long. 2 straight points for the Tusculum Pioneers, and now they're within 2. 19-17 the score. Combs receives. Near side Wheeler. Nice dig there for the Pioneers. Burrows this time blocked at the net. As Burrows gets it over once again. Far side for Langford. Good job by the Eagles to keep it in play. Weaver gets it over. Set near side for Willie. To the net for Cobb. She jumps a little bit too early. I believe that'll be an error on Carson-Newman. Tusculum within one. 19-18 your score. Very competitive first set between these two SAC rivals as Cobb just can't quite touch that one up. Wheeler with the reception. Weaver for the kill, and she gets it. Big swing by Skylar Weaver. She scores. Much needed point there for Carson-Newman. Weaver just gets it by the diving attempt by Amaya Burrows. Bennett McCombs back to serve. Burrows receives. Near side Willie, and she gets it in on the far sideline to score. Tusculum responds with a point of their own, while some substitutions coming in for Tusculum. Number 24, Whitney Thompson, and number 4, Madison Atkins, in for Tusculum. Taylor Adams checks in for Carson-Newman. Atkins will serve. Combs receives, all ball for Adams, and she gets it by Sosnowski to score. Carson-Newman responds to Tusculum with a point of their own, 21-19 the score. Blair Cherry checks in to serve. Taylor Kieran back in the game. Cherry will serve for the Eagles. Sosnowski receives. Near side now, Burrows pokes it over. Good dig by Weaver. Now to Adams. Far side for Amaya Burrows. Big swing. McCombs receives. Now Adams blocked at the net. Kieran tips it over. Now Foster. Parker, Weaver blocked at the net, and Tusculum and Bailey Parker with the block to get right back within one. Allie Freeland checks back in for Taylor Sanders as Parker just able to get up and block that one to give Tusculum the point. Maya Burrows will serve for the Pioneers. Received by Weaver, set the net for Kieran. Good dig by Burrows. As now on the ground is Whitney Thompson. She's able to play it over. Weaver tipped at the net. Far side now Freeland. As Cherry sets it for Weaver. Nice dig by Burrows. Thompson pushes it over. Kieran at the net. Now Adams scores. Big swing by Taylor Adams. Her third kill of the game in 6 attempts. Adams just with the big swing there. Got to pass the first line of blockers in Thompson and Parker. New substitute in for the Eagles. It's number 6, McKenna Hall. She'll serve for Carson-Newman. Didn't play last game against Emory and Henry, but coming into a big spot here with the Eagles 3 points away from taking set 1. 22-20 your score. It's been a back and forth first set. Carson-Newman's been in front for most of the way, but Tusculum certainly hasn't made it easy. Amaya Burrows 6 kills. Julia Wheeler leads the Eagles with 4. This one at the net, poked over by Tusculum, but she jumped over the net, and Carson-Newman with the point. Another timeout for Tusculum. 23-20, Carson-Newman out in front. 2 points away from victory here in set number 1, as we'll take a quick break right here on the Eagle Sports Network. Ryan Wilkes back on the Eagles Sports Network. 23-20, Carson-Newman with the lead. looking to start 3-0 in SAC conference play. Lots of work left to do. First set, very competitive between these two teams as Carson-Newman holds a 3-point advantage. As McKenna Hall will be back to serve once again. Hall with the serve. Received by Freeland. Near side now and a kill for Isabel Biesterfield. It's Tusculum back on the board. It's a 23-21 score. Good kill there by Biesterfield, getting her first action tonight. First kill in her first attempt as Sosnowski will serve for Tusculum. Reception by Wheeler. Cherry set for Wheeler, and she's blocked at the net by Foster and Biesterfield to make it a 1-point game. Biesterfield making an early impact for Tusculum. Most of the work done there by Foster, but Biesterfield certainly got a piece of it as well. Sosnowski will serve. Received by McCombs towards the back row. Hall sets it up for Wheeler, and she pushes it far. Looked like a weird play there for Carson-Newman. Didn't quite get the set where they wanted it, and Carson-Newman will use its first timeout. 23-all. It's been an exciting set number one. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Ryan Wilkes back on the Eagle Sports Network as we're all tied up at 23. Nearing the end of set number one, Tusculum has responded well in this one. Carson-Newman at one point was on a 6-1 run, but Tusculum has done a good job to negate that and get back even at 23 apiece. Little run here for Tusculum. They're on a 3-0 scoring run to get back into the first set. Sosnowski will serve. Cherry now for Wheeler. Sosnowski with the dig. Near side for Biesterfield. As Adams pokes it over and scores. Nice attempt by Sosnowski. Couldn't quite get to it as Taylor Adams just pokes it over and finds some open space to get the point for Carson-Newman. Right over the hands of Freeland and Foster. It's Carson-Newman. Set point right here. Taylor Adams will serve. Received by Freeland. Far side Freeland, she gets the kill. So Tusculum stays alive. As new substitute in for Tusculum, it's Michaela Willie as well as Maya Lewis into the game. As Lewis will serve for Tusculum. 24-24 in the first set. Been about as even of a first set as you can get. As Wheeler receives. Now far side Kieran. Nice dig by Burrows to keep it in play. Far side Freeland gets it past McCombs and scores. And now the script has flipped a little bit. Tusculum 1 point away from securing the first set. Freeland just able to get it past the diving McCombs as Carson-Newman will burn its last time out with it being set point for Tusculum. 25-24 the Pioneers lead. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. We knew it would be a fun one. It certainly lived up to that billing here in the first set. As Tusculum 1 point away, 25-24 they lead. It'll be Maya Lewis back to serve. Allie Freeland with the last kill to get Tusculum on the brink of winning the first set. Lewis gets it over. Cherry now sets for Kieran. Lewis receives. Far side Freeland, big swing, and it goes wide near the Carson-Newman bench. And now the Eagles stay alive, 25 apiece your score. Langford and Allball check back in. It'll be Carly Allball going back to serve. As Freeland, a big swing there, a little bit too ambitious, pushes it wide. As Allball back to serve. Burrows receives. Lewis far side, Willie blocked at the net. Sosnowski keeps it in play. Now Freeland. And it's going to be a point for Tusculum. A net violation on Carson-Newman. And now Tusculum right back at the set point. It'll be Allie Freeland to serve. 26-25 the score. Carson-Newman trying to stay alive. Freeland with the serve. Near side now for Emma Grace Cobb, and that one falls. Nice dig by Lewis to score. She gets it over, and it finds the far sideline. Tusculum takes the first set, 27-25. We'll take a quick break and be back with set number 2. Tusculum leads 1-0 right here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here at Holt Fieldhouse for set number 2. Carson-Newman drops the first set, even though they were out in front for most of that first set. Tusculum showing some resiliency to stay in it. Tusculum got on the board first 1-0. Carson-Newman responded with a 4-0 run. And that was back and forth. Carson-Newman in control for most of it. Tusculum took the lead back 8-7. But then Carson-Newman just in control for most of that set. Tusculum did take the lead back a couple times, but Carson-Newman was in front for most of it, and then near the end, Tusculum just used a couple little runs there to win the first set, 27-25. Madison Atkins with 9 assists in the first set for the Pioneers. Amaya Burrows leads away with 6 kills. Michaela Willie off the bench, 3 kills. And for Carson-Newman, Julia Wheeler, 4 kills. 7 assists for Carly Allball, 6 for Blake Cherry. As Taylor Adams, 4 kills as well. Skylar Weaver has 3 on the night. As set number 2 ready to get underway, Carson-Newman will serve. Waiting to see who's going back to serve. It'll be Carly Allball. for the Eagles. Brand new set. Tusculum leads 1-0. 0-0 here in set number 2. All ball with the serve, received by Sosnowski. Near side, Burrows gets it over. All ball set far side, Wheeler. Nice dig by Sosnowski. Now poked over. And now the Eagles can't handle it, as I believe that was Michaela Willie that got it over. Her 4th kill of the night off the bench. That was Martina Foster, my apologies. Bailey Parker checks in for Tusculum, who leads set number 2, 1-0. Baylor receives. Now it's Cobb. Good dig far side there for Tusculum. Now an attacking error by Amaya Burrows. Haven't seen too many of those from her. The 2nd error of the game for Burrows. As we're all tied up at 1. Amaya Burrows just didn't time up her jump quite enough. Wheeler with the serve for Carson-Newman. Far side Burrows. She pushes it just a little too far, as that one is out of bounds near the back line. So 2 errors for Amaya Burrows here in the 2nd set. Only had 1 in all of set 1. Wheeler with the serve for the Eagles, and now an ace. It looked like Sanders couldn't quite get to it. Carson-Newman starting off fairly similar to what they did in the 1st set. As Wheeler with the service ace. Her 2nd of the game. Her 3rd ace. She'll serve once again. Sanders receives. Sosnowski sets for Burrows, and this time she gets it down past the back row of Eagles and scores. Isabel Biesterfield checks in for Tusculum. Atkins back to serve. 3-2 your score. Carson-Newman out in front. Tusculum leads 1-0. Set far side Weaver. Sanders with a nice dig on the back row. Now Burrows pokes it over. It's all ball. McCombs to Adams. She's blocked, but all ball keeps it in play. Now Weaver far side. Good dig by Sanders. Burrows blocked at the net. All ball set for Weaver far side, and that one deflects off the hands of Parker and Biesterfield. Carson-Newman scores 4-2 now. Bennett McCombs into serve for Carson-Newman. As Weaver gets the kill right there. And an ace from McCombs. She scores. Carson-Newman now leads 5-2. The Eagles have played the service ace to their advantage tonight, 6 so far to none for Tusculum. McCombs gets it right there. Now she'll serve once again for Carson-Newman. Atkins for Biesterfield. Big swing as Wheeler gets it over. Now Parker, McCombs, and all ball can't handle it. Tusculum with the kill. It's Bailey Parker who scores. As Allie Freeland checks back in, Taylor Sanders checks out. Burrows will serve. McCombs receives. Far side now Adams. She's blocked. Now all ball sets near side Langford. Good dig by Atkins to keep it in play. Now Burrows on the back row. McCombs dig now to Adams. She pokes it over, but Parker and Biesterfield able to block the net. Now Wheeler big swing. And the dig by Sosnowski kept in play by Freeland. And Sosnowski pokes it over. Now Weaver pushes it far. And that's an error for Skylar Weaver. Tusculum just bending and not breaking right there, as they are able to keep the ball in play, and they almost forced a Carson-Newman error. Burrows will serve. 5-4. Carson-Newman leads to start set number 2. Wheeler receives all ball, pushes it over. As now McCombs far side Adams, big swing. Sosnowski keeps it in play, and Burrows will get it over. Great recovery for Tusculum. As all ball set far side, Adams with the big swing, and she scores. As Tusculum, good recovery there on the big swing by Adams, but she gets it a second time. As Carson-Newman leads 6-4. Blair Cherry will come in to serve. 6-4 Eagles lead. Cherry tees it up. Adkins near side, Freeland. Adams with the dig. Cherry far side, Adams, and it's blocked by Parker and Beesterfield. As Parker and Beesterfield have combined well tonight. Couple blocks there at the net. One for Beesterfield, one for Parker. Make that their second on the night. Sosnowski serves for Tusculum. Cherry sets for Weaver, and it's blocked by Freeland and Foster. Back-to-back blocks for Tusculum, and we're all even at 6. Big swing by Weaver, and she was met at the top by Foster. Sosnowski serves. Adams receives. Now Adams far side. She's blocked yet again. This time Cherry keeps it in play. McCombs, Weaver. Sosnowski with the dig. Now it's Burrows who has to get it over. She does. Cherry to Kieran. This one skying back towards the basketball hoop, and it's Burrows who gets it over. Tusculum doing a really good job here in the second set as Adams will push it far past the back line. In the second set, Tusculum's just been able to keep it in play, and it's forced a couple Carson-Newman errors, as it's Adams that time that pushes it a bit too far. As Tusculum takes the 7-6 lead. Sosnowski will serve for Tusculum. Little run here for the Pioneers, a 3-0 run. Sosnowski serves, Wheeler receives. Now it's Cherry far side, Adams, big swing in the kill. Finding some space there on the back row. That time Foster and Beesterfield can't quite get there for the block. Good job by Adams with the big swing. Tusculum's had the advantage at the net, but that time Adams gets it past her. So Hall will check back in to serve. Adkins now to Foster, blocked at the net by Carson-Newman, but once again kept in play by Tusculum. That time, Kieran and Adams at the net get the block and the kill for Carson-Newman. The Eagles take the lead right back 8-7. Good job by those two at the net, pushing it to the opposite side. As Hall will serve again for Carson-Newman. This one received by Burrows. Sosnowski now to the net for Beesterfield. McCombs to Cherry. Now Wheeler blocked once again. Cherry back to Kieran, and she gets it on the back line. Good job by Taylor Kieran right in front of the net to just sky it over Amaya Burrows and find that back line. As Burrows maybe looking to wipe up some sweat here. Carson-Newman leads 9-7. Back and forth the second set as well, looking very similar to set 1. As Carson-Newman with the 2-point advantage. Hall will serve again, getting some action tonight. Didn't see her the other night against Emory and Henry. 9-7 your score. Hall will serve for Carson-Newman. Received by Sosnowski. This time, right of the net was Wheeler. She cannot get the kill. Good dig by Tusculum. McCombs near side for Adams. Big swing, gets it past Sosnowski. Rattles up near the American flag here in Holt Fieldhouse, and it falls. Carson-Newman with another kill. It's Taylor Adams. Sosnowski's been good with the digs tonight, but couldn't quite get to that one. 10 digs so far for Kaylee Sosnowski as Hall will serve. This time right into the net. The first service error for Carson-Newman. One apiece now for both sides. Michaela Willie checks in as well as Maya Lewis. It'll be Adkins and Beesterfield out. 10-8, Carson-Newman still out in front. As Lewis will serve for Tusculum, McCombs receives near the net. It's Cherry. This one tipped by Kieran as well, but it falls on Carson-Newman's side. It will be a point for Tusculum as the Pioneers are within 1. Some fans still trickling into Holt Fieldhouse. Good crowd tonight. As you see there, Tusculum's able to poke it over. Carson-Newman couldn't handle it. Now it's Kieran. Sosnowski with another dig. Freeland, big swing, but it goes long. And that's an error for Allie Freeland. Freeland's 4th error on the night in 13 attacks. She has 5 kills so far. It'll be Taylor Adams to serve for Carson-Newman. 11-9 the score, Eagles lead. Sosnowski receives. Lewis near side for Willie. She's blocked by Kieran and Cobb, and Carson-Newman scores. Big swing by Willie near side. Looked like Cobb got a lot of that one. Kieran got some of it too. As Adams serves. This one well long. Another service error for Carson-Newman, their second of the second set. Adams checks out. McCombs back in for Carson-Newman. Freeland will serve for Tusculum. The Eagles out in front, 12-10. Wheeler receives. Cherry far side Cobb, and that one goes straight into the net. Don't know if that one was blocked or just hit into the net by Cobb. Either way, point for Tusculum. Looked like that one right into the net off of the hand of Emma Grace Cobb. Freeland with the serve. This one goes long. A service error for Tusculum, and Carson-Newman leads 13-11. Kieran checks out, all ball back in. Langford in for Cherry. It'll be all ball to serve. Tightly contested second set, just like the first. Both these teams look to contend at the top in the SAC this year. So far, both of them off to good starts. Carson-Newman 2-0 in the SAC with a win over Lincoln Memorial, as well as Emory and Henry. Lewis near side Burrows, big swing, and she gets it by the front line of blockers in Cobb and Langford, and she scores to make it 13-12. Burrows just showing her power in this game. Her 8th kill on the night. As it'll be Foster to serve, McCombs receives. All ball near side Wheeler. This one off the hands of Foster, and Sanders is going the other direction. Maybe a little miscommunication between the two. And Carson-Newman scores. Wheeler with another kill. That one right past Foster and Sanders. So Wheeler now 6 kills on the night. Adams leads away for Carson-Newman with 7. Lewis far side Willie, and she gets it by Julia Wheeler to score. Michaela Willie's really been a big factor off the bench tonight for the Tusculum Pioneers. She'll check out. It'll be Isabel Biesterfield and Madison Atkins back in. 4 kills off the bench for Michaela Willie as we're in a 1-point set number 2. Atkins with the serve. Weird spin on that one. That's far side now. Weaver, she gets it far. Actually, they're going to call a net violation on Bailey Parker. It's going to be a point for Carson-Newman. So on a big swing from Weaver, definitely pushed it a little too far. Parker was too far in on the net. As Bennett McCombs will serve for Carson-Newman. 15-13 the score. Sosnowski receives. Atkins near side Biesterfield. McCombs with the dig. Near side Langford, and it goes off the hand of Burrows and into the net. A kill for Molly Langford. Her second of the game. So new sub for Tusculum. Big swing by Langford there. Actually looks like it got off the hands of Parker. So Lauren Weaver checks in for the first time tonight. McCombs with the serve. Sosnowski off her hands, and it goes into the net. A service ace for Bennett McCombs, and Tusculum needs a timeout. Carson-Newman leads 17-13. As that one just goes off the hands of Kaylee Sosnowski into the net. 17-13 your score. Carson-Newman leads. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman leads 17-13. Ryan Wilkes with you on the Eagles Sports Network. Tusculum leads in sets 1-0, a 27-25 win in the first set. Carson-Newman leads this one 17-13 after a service ace by Bennett McCombs. She'll serve again for Carson-Newman. The Eagles in control, 3-0 scoring run after leading 14-13, now lead by 4. McCombs with the serve, received by Burrows. Far side Atkins, now Burrows with the kill down the far sideline, and she scores. Amaya Burrows, big swing there to get the point for Tusculum. She'll be back to serve now for the Pioneers. 17-14 the score. Received by Atkins, far side Adams. Big swing, Sosnowski with the dig. Near side Freeland. Dig by Wheeler. All ball sets it up for Adams. She's blocked. She gets Langford. Blocked at the net by Allie Freeland. And Tusculum's within 2. Big block by Freeland, and it looked like also number 3 at the net is Weaver with the big swing and the kill. Pass the diving attempt by Amaya Burrows. Big response for Carson-Newman. Tusculum had responded with a 2-0 run. As Weaver just able to get it in on the hands of Burrows. Blair Cherry back to serve. Back row, McCombs and Wheeler. Front row, you got Weaver, Langford, and Kieran for the Eagles. 18-15 the score. Cherry will serve. Burrows, Atkins sets the net for Sanders. Big swing, good dig by McCombs. Near side now Weaver. Burrows keeps it in play. It's Atkins. Now Sanders will have to get it over, and it's out on the back line. That one really close. It looked like the back judge wasn't too sure about that one. Stuck her flag in the air as Carson-Newman leads 19-15. Little dispute coming from the Tusculum side. That one was certainly close. It looks like it was pushed just a little bit. As head coach Danielle Morante still having some words with the officials. Nonetheless, point for Carson-Newman, 19-15 the score. Cherry will serve again. Burrows receives. Atkins sets at the net for Freeland near side. Good dig by Adams to keep it in play. Now it's a Weaver with a big swing, and it falls off the hands of Madison Atkins. And a Weaver with the kill. Timeout for Tusculum. Carson-Newman leads 20-15. We're going to take a quick break and be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Ryan Wilkes back on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman leads 20-15. Similar spot they found themselves in the first set. Couldn't close that one out, but they're looking to do so right here and tie up the total at 1. Bit of a change of momentum just moments ago. A ball that was just past the back line. Tusculum didn't agree. Nonetheless, called a point for Carson-Newman as the Eagles lead 20-15. Cherry will serve another timeout. Sosnowski receives. Atkins near side Freeland, and she scores past the blockers of Weaver and Kieran. Big point there for Tusculum to stop the run for Carson-Newman. Sanders checks out. Foster back in. Sosnowski will serve for Tusculum. Sosnowski will serve. Received by Wheeler. Cherry at the net, sets near side. Weaver, and she puts it down right in front of Amaya Burrows. Big point for Carson-Newman as Weaver will check out, and she's greeted by the Carson-Newman bench. Big point there for Carson-Newman, 21-16 the score, as Hall checks back in to serve. Hall with the serve, received by Burrows. Atkins far side for Biesterfield. What a dig by Cherry, as now Wheeler gets it over, blocked at the net. Cherry keeps it in play. Weaver again pokes it over. Far side for Biesterfield. Adams to Cherry. Now Adams again, blocked. Cherry keeps it in play. McComb sets it for a Wheeler. She swings it over. Sosnowski for Freeland. She's blocked. Kept in play by Biesterfield as Burrows will get it over. Long rally here for these two as Wheeler with the swing. Freeland will get it over. Good dig by Hall. And now Kieran pokes it over. Long point here, Foster. Now McCombs sets far side for Adams. Pokes it over. Burrows giving chase. Keeps it in play, and it drops. Carson-Newman scores in the longest rally of this match, and the Eagles take the 6-point lead. Adams just poked it over, fell in a weird spot. Burrows kept it in play, but it snuck under the net. What a point there for Carson-Newman, now 3 points away from taking set 2. Hall will serve. Burrows, it goes wide, and a service ace for McKenna Hall. McKenna Hall, who didn't play against Emory and Henry coming into tonight. Some big points for Carson-Newman, 23-16 the lead for the Eagles. Hall will serve. Goes to Sosnowski near the net. Atkins sets Freeland. She's blocked. Cherry back to McCombs, and McCombs now for Wheeler. Big swing, and it gets down on the far sideline. 24-16 the score. A little bit of an awkward play for Wheeler. Found herself really close to the net. Held herself back and still scored to give Carson-Newman the lead, or the 24-16 lead, and now it's set point. Hall will serve. Burrows receives. Atkins sets far side Freeland. She pokes it over. Good dig by Cherry. Now Adams near side. Big swing. Burrows keeps it up. Now it'll be Freeland. Cherry far side. Wheeler, and she finds the near sideline. Carson-Newman takes set number 2, 25-16. What a response for Carson-Newman. Use that little bit of momentum that they found late in that second set. The long rally was the turning point there. Carson-Newman was able to get it. And Julia Wheeler showing what she does so well, strategically placing that ball right in front of Tusculum's bench as we're all tied up at 1 set apiece. We'll take a quick break and be right back with set number 3 right here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse for what should be a very exciting third set here between Carson-Newman and Tusculum. Carson-Newman takes his second set, 25-16. One of the longest rallies you'll see this season as Carson-Newman was able to get that point. That really served as a turning point for the Eagles in taking that second set as we're all tied up at 1. Looking at some of the stats, Amaya Burrows leads all scorers with 9 kills. Taylor Adams right behind her with 8. Skylar Weaver with 8. Julia Wheeler with 7. And then Allie Freeland with 6. So those have been the main contributors tonight. But for Tusculum, really one of the unspoken heroes tonight has been number 26, Michaela Willie. She's came in and played some big minutes. And for Carson-Newman, McKenna Hall has had a really nice night, especially serving. Has that one service ace. She comes in after not really playing against Emory and Henry and providing a push for this Carson-Newman team. Brand new set. Allie Freeland will serve for Tusculum. 0-0 to score. Freeland with the serve for the Pioneers. Wheeler receives. All ball near the net. It's Wheeler at the net. She pokes it far on the sideline. Point for Tusculum. 1-0 Pioneers lead. Wheeler's really good at placing those kills. Sometimes she goes with the big swing. Other times she looks for an open spot on the court. That time just couldn't find one. As now Freeland right into the net for an error. And we're all tied up at 1. Hall checks out. Weaver back in. As Wheeler will serve for Carson-Newman. 3 service errors for Tusculum, 2 for Carson-Newman so far. Sosnowski receives a serve from Wheeler. Burrows big swing, finds the back line and scores. Tusculum with the point. Burrows with her 10th kill. Amaya Burrows, they've found her quite a bit tonight. And she's came through quite a few times. 28 attacks, just 3 errors and 10 kills. As Wheeler receives a serve from Foster. Big swing from Adams and she pushes it. Excuse me, that's Langford far side. Tusculum with a 3-1 lead early. Martina Foster will serve once again for Tusculum. 1-1 in sets, 3-1 here in set number 3 as all ball sets up for Cobb. Big swing past the diving attempt from number 19 for the Pioneers. Big swing from Cobb. She found some open space past the diving Jordan Anderson. As McCombs will serve. Received by Freeland, set by Atkins, far side Burrows. Big swing, but blocked. As now Burrows will try again. She'll poke it this time. Nice dig by Adams. Langford pokes it over. Now Sosnowski, far side Burrows. Diving attempt, and it gets off the hands of Wheeler. Point for Tusculum, 4-2, Pioneers with the lead. Good job by that front line of defense for Carson-Newman. But Amaya Burrows has really played a big role in this game as Jordan Anderson checks out. Taylor Sanders, excuse me, that'll be number 24, that checks in. As McCombs receives. Now far side Langford, she finds some open space at the front of the net. A diving attempt by Whitney Thompson. Couldn't find her. As now Taylor Kieran checks in. Langford going opposite side there. Finds some open space right near the Carson-Newman logo. Cherry will serve for Carson-Newman. 4-3, Tusculum with the lead early in set 3. Received by Sosnowski. Burrows now far side. Sosnowski bumps it over. Cherry for Weaver, and it gets through. Block attempt there by Burrows and Sanders. A big swing by Weaver, and she scores. They did get a piece of it there at the top of the net, but got their forearms. As Cherry will serve again, 4 apiece here in set 3. Burrows gets it over. Kieran right at the net, just tucks it over the net to score. The bump got off the hands of Burrows a little too fast. Got over the net, and Kieran, easy work for her to score. 5-4, Carson-Newman retakes the lead. Blair Cherry serves. Atkins far side set for Thompson, and she pokes it near the Carson-Newman bench. Big swing from Thompson. Places it perfectly on that far sideline. Burrows will serve for Tusculum. 5-all in set 3. Adams receives. Now it's Kieran for Weaver. Weaver gets it over. Good dig there by Adkins. Burrow now for Freeland. Cherry far side set for Weaver. Big swing. Another dig by Adkins. Now Thompson will have to get it over. Lefty swing. She does. Cherry now near side set. Adams with the kill. Taylor Adams, her 9th kill tonight, now tying Skylar Weaver atop the score sheet. She got it right by Taylor Sanders at the net. McKenna Hall back into serve. 6-5, Eagles lead. Set number 3 just getting underway here at Holt Fieldhouse. It's been a back-and-forth start. McKenna Hall with the serve. Burrows receives. Atkins near side set. Thompson, and she pushes it wide on the near sideline. Carson-Newman with the point. Another attacking error for Tusculum. Their 12th of the game. Carson-Newman with 13 tonight. 33 kills for the Eagles to 30 for Tusculum. Hall serves, Burrows receives. Adkins sets for Sanders, but she puts it right into the net. Another attacking error for Tusculum. As Sanders checks out, Olivia Crowell will check in. 8-5, Carson-Newman leads. Again, McKenna Hall, 3 straight points for her. Back there serving. Hall with the serve. Burrows receives. Adkins sets far side for Freeland. Big swing. Nice dig by McCombs. Now Wheeler with the swing, and she pushes it far. As Julie Wheeler a little too aggressive on that swing, as Tusculum back within 2. Not a bad idea for Wheeler to go back row. Just couldn't quite find that back line. Sosnowski will serve for Tusculum. McCombs receives. Cherry near the net, sets up for Kieran. Good dig for the Pioneers. Now it's Hall. Cherry to Kieran, who skies it wide past the back line. As it's now 8-7, Carson-Newman. So Tusculum responds to the 3-0 Carson-Newman run with a 2-0 run their own. And Sosnowski will once again serve. McCombs receives. Cherry to Wheeler, big swing, blocked. All with the dig, far side for Adams, and she puts it down. A kill for Taylor Adams, her 10th on the night. Taylor Adams has been automatic for Carson-Newman this evening. She puts that one down with ease. Opposite side of the floor, beautiful from Taylor Adams. She'll serve. Burrows receives. Adkins set for Thompson. Big swing. Good block at the net for Carson-Newman. Now it's Kieran. Thompson to Adkins. Adkins far side Freeland, who pokes it over. Cherry keeps it alive. Now Hall to Wheeler. Sosnowski, Adkins. Now Foster. Cherry to Wheeler. Burrows with the dig. Adkins far side Freeland. Big swing, but it's far and out of bounds. Carson-Newman leads 10-7. It's been a game of runs here in the 3rd set. As Carson-Newman with 3 straight points. Adams will serve for the Eagles. Burrows receives. Adkins far side. Now Freeland, and she puts it down and scores. Looked like Hall and Adams, Taylor Adams were right there. Just split both of them. Adams will check out. Hall back in. Excuse me, it'll be Cobb to check back in. Lewis back to serve for Tusculum. 10-8 your score. Eagles out in front. Hall. Now McCombs will have to get it over. Good job by Hall just to pick that one up as Lewis sets far side. Freeland is blocked by Cobb and Kieran at the net. Huge block for Carson-Newman. As it'll be all ball to check in for Kieran. Tusculum's had some success tonight getting those kills past the first row of blockers, but not that time. As Christina Jackson will check in. All ball to serve for Carson-Newman. 11-8, Eagles lead. All ball with the serve, received by Jackson. Near side now, Jackson has to get it over. She does. All ball sets up near side for Wheeler. Nice dig by Sosnowski. Now near side for Willie. Dig by All ball. McCombs to Langford, and she gets it by Burrows. Deflected off the front blockers, and Burrows just couldn't handle it. Carson-Newman with the kill. 12-8, Eagles out in front, as All ball will serve once again. All ball with the serve, received by Jackson. Sosnowski now, Burrows back row, gets it over. All ball sets it up near side. Cobb scores. Emma Grace Cobb puts it down with ease. Carson-Newman leads 13-8, and Tusculum calls a timeout. Big swing by Cobb, put it right down the middle for the kill. 13-8, Eagles lead. We'll be right back here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse here on the campus of Carson-Newman, 13-8 Eagles lead. Big kill there from Emma Grace Cobb. That prompted the Tusculum timeout by head coach Danielle Morante. Morante has led Tusculum to some success. She's in her 5th season. Guided Tusculum to the SAC postseason each of her first 4 seasons. Rebounded from an 0-5 start last year to get Tusculum to 14-12, 12-6 in the SAC. As All ball will serve for Carson-Newman. Received by Burrows. Lewis far side for Jackson. Big swing. Now it's McCombs to Wheeler. Sosnowski with the dig. Lewis near side Burrows, and she puts it right into the net. An attacking error for Amaya Burrows, her 4th of the night. 14-8 Carson-Newman. It's now a 4-0 scoring run for Carson-Newman. As All ball back to serve once again. Burrows receives and on the hands. Lewis far side, Jackson pokes it over. It's All ball to McCombs. Now Wheeler pokes it over. We're going to say a violation on Tusculum, so point Carson-Newman. 15-8 the score now. Carson-Newman on a big run here. Wheeler showing again how strategic she is with the placement of her attacks. Lewis near side Jackson, big swing. All ball with a great dig. Now Hall pushes it over and scores. That one was all engineered by Carly Allball, and Hall found herself and pushed it right over past the diving Amaya Burrows. Carson-Newman now on a 6-0 scoring run. It's 16-8. McKenna Hall again has played a huge role in this one after not playing against Emory and Henry. Has came in tonight and done a great job for Carson-Newman. That time gets her first kill. All ball will serve. Burrows receives. Lewis near the net sets up for Jackson. Jimmy Foster, and she scores. Much needed point for Tusculum right there as Martina Foster pushes it past the far sideline. As it'll be Jackson to serve. McCombs. Now to All ball. All ball far side Wheeler. Sosnowski. Lewis for Burrows. Blocked at the net. Lewis sets for Willie, and it is blocked at the net by Carson-Newman, and the Eagles score to make it 17-9. Carson-Newman showing their presence up front just like they did the other night. As it'll be Hall to check out, Weaver back in for the Eagles. All Carson-Newman here in the second set, 17-9 your score. Julia Wheeler back to serve. Received by Burrows. Lewis sets up Burrows far side. Tipped at the net. Now it's all ball. Near side Weaver. Big swing, but blocked by Willie and Foster. Point for Tusculum. Back-to-back blocks, one for each side. As that time, Willie gets the job done, as well as Foster. Foster will serve for Tusculum. Wheeler receives. All ball now for Cobb. She's blocked, but the Eagles keep it alive. Weaver now. Foster with the dig. Lewis far side. Burrows bumps it over. All ball to McCombs. McCombs near side of Weaver. Foster bumped near the back line. Sanders keeps it in play. Now it's played over. It's Cobb. Big swing, and it's pushed far. Point for Tusculum. 17-11. Carson-Newman still out in front by 3. Tusculum on a little 2-0 run here. Foster will serve. McCombs receives. All ball sets up. Weaver pushes it over and scores. Sanders dived for it but couldn't quite get there. Carson-Newman gets a much-needed point to make it 18-11. Good job by Weaver. A little late jump there, but she improvised and got it down the near sideline. McCombs will serve for Carson-Newman. Bumped by Burrows. And now it's Willie right into the net, but she gets it back over. Now it's Adams near the net for Langford, and it goes down, point for Tusculum. Like a little weird play developing there for Carson-Newman, and it resulted in a Tusculum point. 18-12 the score, Eagles out in front. It'll be Adkins back to serve. This one right into the net, an error. Service error on Madison Atkins, as Carson-Newman now leads once again by 7. Kieran and Cherry check back in. Langford and Allball go out, as Blair Cherry will serve. 19-12. Eagles looking to take set number 3. 1-1 right now in sets. As Cherry serves, Sanders receives. Atkins far side Burrows. Now Adams to Weaver, and that one tipped at the net but scored for Carson-Newman. A kill for Skylar Weaver. She's been on it tonight. 11 kills now for Weaver. She leads the team. Cherry will serve once again. Carson-Newman 5 points away from victory in set number 3. Cherry with the serve. Burrows receives. Atkins sets. Big swing, and that one is in by Whitney Thompson to make it 20-13. Found the corner of the back line. As Burrows will serve for Tusculum. Christina Jackson checks in for Taylor Sanders. Burrows with the serve for Tusculum. Wheeler receives. Cherry at the net. Set for Weaver, and she puts it down. Skylar Weaver, 12th kill on the night, and a big one to make it 21-13 Carson-Newman. Weaver checks out. Hall checks back in. She'll serve. Kind of Hall with the serve for Carson-Newman. Sosnowski receives. Now Adkins. And that one put down by Tusculum in number 16, Olivia Crow. As it's 21-14 Carson-Newman. Tusculum gets a big point as Crow checks out. Sosnowski will serve. Received by McCombs. Cherry sets at the net for Wheeler. She gets it over. Now Jackson. Big swing for Tusculum, and Hall dives after it, can't get there. As Whitney Thompson with her 4th kill. Tusculum now within 6. Tusculum's had some late runs, especially there in the first set, to overcome a deficit and win the first set 27-25. As Wheeler receives a serve from Sosnowski. Far side Langford, big swing. Excuse me, that's Taylor Adams who scores. Carson-Newman now up 22-15. Taylor Adams in double-digit kills with 11. Skylar Weaver with 12. As Adams will serve for Carson-Newman. It's a big swing by Adams there. Got it past Sosnowski. As Adams serves, this one pushed far. And a service error for Taylor Adams. McCombs checks back in for Adams. She will take a seat. 22-16 the score. Maya Lewis checks in for Whitney Thompson. Carson-Newman 3 points away from taking set 3 as Maya Lewis serves. Bumped by Wheeler. Cherry sets, big swing by Cobb, and Taylor Kieran, and she scores to make it 23-16. All ball checks in for Kieran. Cherry checks out as well. It'll be all ball to serve. 23-16, Carson-Newman 2 points away from victory in set 3. All ball with the serve. This one pushed far yet again. The 4th service error for Carson-Newman. 4 apiece for both them and the Pioneers. Christina Jackson will serve for Tusculum. 23-17 the score. Received by Wheeler. All ball sets up. Wheeler far side. Big swing. She's blocked. And that's a point for Tusculum. Back-to-back points for the Pioneers, and they're within 5. 23-18 the score. Jackson will serve again. Wheeler receives. All ball set for Wheeler far side. Now it's Burrows. Big swing, and she scores. Past the diving hands of Bennett McCombs. And Tusculum, the crowd that made the trip to Mossy Creek, comes alive. A 3-0 run for the Pioneers. As Christina Jackson will serve yet again. 23-19 the score. Wheeler receives, and it'll fall. A service ace for Christina Jackson. Just like that, Tusculum within 3, 23-20 the score. Ashley Tiernan's got 2 timeouts in her back pocket. We'll see if she uses one coming up. Christina Jackson with the serve. Now a violation on Tusculum. Point Carson-Newman. So a mistake by the Pioneers puts Carson-Newman within a point of the set 3 victory. Big mistake there for Tusculum, who had all the momentum. And now Wheeler will have a chance to put set number 3 to bed as she's back to serve. Wheeler ready to go, 24-20, set point on the way. Burrows receives, set by Lewis, far side Burrows, big swing, what a dig by Wheeler. Now all ball near side Weaver, a dig by Sosnowski. Now it's Burrows near the net, point Carson-Newman, a double on Tusculum, and Carson-Newman wins set 3, now leads 2-1. 2 mistakes there by Tusculum at the end. Gives Carson-Newman the 3rd set, 25-20, the final, as we'll go to set number 4 on the other side, right here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back for set 4 here at Holt Fieldhouse between Carson-Newman and Tusculum. Carson-Newman leads 2-1 after a 25-20 victory in set number 3. 2 mistakes there near the end for Tusculum. Gives Carson-Newman the 25-20 win. New libero now in for Tusculum. It's number 9, Ira Al. So Ira Al into the game. Looks like we might have seen the end tonight from Casey Sosnowski. Big loss for Tusculum. She's been having a good game so far. As it'll be all ball to serve for Carson-Newman. The Eagles looking to close this one out. 2-1, they lead in sets. 0-0 here in set 4 as all ball gets it underway. Received by Burrows. Adkins sets up Foster near the net. Good job by Cobb to keep it in play. Now Hall will get it over. And now near the net, it'll be Wheeler. Burrows near side, Adkins. Now McCombs pushes it over. Burrows now sets for Foster, who pushes it wide. Point for Carson-Newman. A weird developing rally right there. But Foster with a big swing and pushes it just wide. All ball back to serve once again for Carson-Newman. 1-0 the Eagles lead in set number 4. Set up near the net by Adkins. Big swing by Crow. Now set for Wheeler. Good job by Sanders to keep it in play. And now Burrows, big swing. She pushes it far and out of bounds. Carson-Newman leads 2-0 after 2 attacking errors by Tusculum. Carly Allball serving once again. She sends it over, but this time into the net. A service error for Carson-Newman. So far, 2 attacking errors and 1 service error. The first 3 points of the 4th set. As Martina Foster will serve for Tusculum. 2-1, Carson-Newman with the lead. All ball sets it up for Cobb, but blocked at the net by Burrows. She scores to make it 2-2. Foster will serve once again. It's Hall now to all ball. Wheeler, big swing, and she scores. Julia Wheeler with her 9th kill on the night. 2 Eagles already in double-digit kills. Wheeler approaching that. As Weaver has 12, Adams with 11, Wheeler now with 9, as she puts a big swing opposite court and scores. Wheeler now serves for Carson-Newman. Received by Sanders. Al to Burrows. Burrows gets it over, all ball to McCombs. McCombs near side for Langford, and that one will get down. Sanders put it up in the air, Al couldn't get to it, and Carson-Newman lead 4-2. One of the biggest rivalries in the SAC, and you've seen that tonight. Both crowds getting loud as Langford puts that big swing by Sanders for the point. Wheeler with the serve, received by Sanders. Adkins puts it over, but Carson-Newman does a good job to recover. Now Cobb gets it over. Adkins sets for Crow, and she pushes it far. Carson-Newman leads 5-2. They're going to award that point to Tusculum, saying it was tipped by Carson-Newman. So 4-3 the score, as they give that point to the Pioneers. So 4-3 the score. Adkins back to serve. McCombs receives, all ball set for Cobb, big swing, and it's out. They're going to, Carson-Newman arguing that was tipped, and now they're going to get the call. So tipped by Tusculum, 5-3 the score now. So back-to-back points where couldn't tell if it was tipped or not, as McCombs will now serve for Carson-Newman. Now the referee's having some discussion with the scorers table. Carson-Newman leads this one 5-3. We'll give the kill, I believe that was Cobb right there, as Adams checks in for her. Bennett McCombs will serve for Carson-Newman. The Eagles out in front 5-3. Burrows receives. Atkins sets. Far side. Now Thompson, big swing. All ball set far side. Adams. We're going to call a violation on Tusculum. 6-3, Eagles with the lead. Good start for Carson-Newman here in the fourth set, as they call a net violation there on, I believe it was Olivia Crow. McCombs will serve. Burrows receives. Atkins sets for Crow. She pushes it over. Now McCombs for Langford. Atkins near side. Burrows. She pushes it over. McCombs giving chase. She keeps it in play. Wheeler will get it over. Great recovery by Carson-Newman. Big swing by Crow, and she puts it down. Carson-Newman, while scrambling to keep that one in play, just a little out of position, and Tusculum takes advantage. Burrows will serve for Tusculum, as you see here. Big swing by Crown. She puts it down past Bennett McCombs. This one into the net by Burrows, a service error to make it 7-4. Allie Freeland will check in for Taylor Sanders. 5 service errors apiece, actually now 6 for Tusculum, 5 for Carson-Newman, as Blair Cherry will serve. Now Taylor Sanders coming back in, didn't get the indication to sub yet. Now Freeland will officially check in. So 7-4, Carson-Newman leads early in set number 4. You can tell this is a big rivalry in the SAC. The crowds have been back and forth tonight. Tusculum with a good crew here tonight, as Burrows receives, and now Atkins out of play. It's going to be a point for Carson-Newman. I believe that'll go as a service ace for Blair Cherry. Carson-Newman, 9 service aces on the night. They've really used that to their advantage. As Cherry will serve. Received by Al. Good job to keep it in play, as now Freeland pushes it over. McCombs, nice hustle. Adams far side. She pushes it far. Point for Tusculum. 8-5 your score. Carson-Newman still in front. Ira Al will serve for Tusculum. McCombs receives. Now Cherry, far side Adams, big swing, tipped at the net, but it goes down for Carson-Newman. 9-5 the score. Taylor Adams with her 13th kill. Adams has been all over tonight, working on that opposite side of the net as well as the near side. As she puts the big swing right past the middle blockers. McKenna Hall back to serve once again for Carson-Newman. Burrows receives, set by Atkins at the net, pushed over by Foster. McCombs sets far side of Wheeler. Al, nice dig on the back row. As now it's Freeland to get it over. Cherry, McCombs, Wheeler far side, and puts it down on the back line. Julia Wheeler now with her 10th kill. 3 Eagles now with double-digit kills on the night. Wheeler with her 10th. Skylar Weaver has 12. Taylor Adams leads all scorers with 13, tied with Amaya Burrows there at the top. Hall will serve once again for Carson-Newman. 10-5 the score in set 4. Burrows receives. Atkins far side. Thompson, big swing. Goes off the hands of Wheeler and Kieran up front. As it will be Michaela Willie to check in, as well as Maya Lewis. Carson-Newman still out in front by 4. 10-6 your score, as Maya Lewis will go back to serve. Lewis with the serve. Received by McCombs. Cherry sets near side. Adams, big swing. Blocked at the net. Far side Lewis to Willie. Now McCombs. Near side Adams. And it gets off the hands of Lewis. Another kill for Taylor Adams, her 14th. Adams will now serve. Big swing on that one. McCombs, nice set. Adams a little bit away from the net, but she makes it work to score. Carson-Newman with the 5-point lead, 11-6. Adams with the serve for Carson-Newman. Al receives. Near side Willie, big swing, but blocked by a host of Eagles. That is now Burrows for Willie. Wheeler with the dig. Cherry pushes it over and gets the kill. Blair Cherry with the kill. I believe there's a little discussion there, but I believe Cherry will get the point there. Timeout for Tusculum. Carson-Newman leads 12-6 early in set 4, and we'll be right back here on the Eagles Sports Network. Carson-Newman leads set 4, 12-6, right here on the Eagles Sports Network. It looked like after the play there's a little extracurricular from Allie Freeland hitting the ball over after the play. That's what the little discussion was about. Nonetheless, Carson-Newman leads 12-6, and Taylor Adams will serve once again for the Eagles. Carson-Newman looking to win this one 3-1, off to a good start in set 4. Both these teams undefeated in the SAC thus far, as Adams with the serve. Burrows receives. Lewis far side. Atkins, big swing, and that one's well far. Shooting that was Freeland on the far side. As that's another point for Carson-Newman. Another attacking error for Tusculum. Their 21st on the night. Adams with the serve for Carson-Newman. Received by Allen Burrows. As now Lewis will have to get it over. All to Cherry. Now Cobb, big swing. Burrows with the dig, but it goes out of bounds. Carson-Newman with the point. Lewis couldn't quite get there. And Carson-Newman with their 4th straight point to make it 14-16. 14-6. New substitute in for Tusculum. It's number 7, Jordan Roderick. 14-6, Eagles lead. Adams will serve once again for Carson-Newman. Al with the reception. Lewis near side. Big swing by Willie. Kept alive by Carson-Newman. Now Wheeler pokes it back row. Burrows with the dig. Lewis far side Willie. Cherry near side for Kieran, and she puts it down past Ira Al. 5 straight points for the Eagles. 15-6 the score. Taylor Kieran just overpowering the middle blockers for Tusculum and Roderick and Foster, as that serve by Adams goes far. 15-7 now the score. McCombs checks in for Adams. She gets a much-needed breather. 14 kills for Taylor Adams on the night, as well as 6 digs. Julia Wheeler with a double-double tonight, with 10 kills and 10 digs, as now Wheeler far side blocked by Foster and Willie at the net. Big swing by Wheeler. Foster and Willie were ready for that one. As Roderick goes back to serve once again. 15-8 the score. Roderick puts it over. Cherry sets for Cobb, and she puts it down. A little awkward off the hand, but she scores to make it 16-8. All ball and Langford back in for Kieran and Cherry. Langford kind of smiled to her teammates there. Didn't get as much of that as she was hoping. Nonetheless, it all worked out. Carson-Newman doubling up Tusculum in set 4 at 16-8. All ball will serve for Carson-Newman. Received by Sanders. Now Burrows. Willie pokes it over. McCombs. All ball sets for Cobb. Al with the dig. Lewis near side Burrows. Big swing. And it gets past the middle blockers for Carson-Newman. Point for Tusculum. Maya Burrows, her 14th kill on the night. Had a hot start there in set 1. Has calmed down a little bit. The big point there for Tusculum as it deflects off the hands of Cobb and Langford. Wheeler receives a serve from Foster. All ball set for Wheeler. She pokes it over. Foster now to Lewis, now Crowell. McCombs with the dig. Wheeler will have to just get it over here. Sanders to Lewis. Near side Crowell, big swing, but she was over the net. That's a point for Carson-Newman. Olivia Crowell has had 2 of those tonight where she's found herself over the top of the net. And she's gone for it that time. Certainly was there. Touched the top of the net with her hand. As Wheeler will go back to serve. Carson-Newman 8 points away from taking this important early season SAC matchup. Wheeler with the serve for Carson-Newman. Sanders receives. Al now towards the front of the net. It's Burrows, big swing, but into the net. We'll see if that scored an attacking error or a block by Carson-Newman. I believe it's going to be an attacking error on Amaya Burrows. As Carson-Newman back in front by 9. Wheeler will serve for Carson-Newman. Received by Burrows. Lewis sets near side. Burrows, big swing. Wheeler gets it over. Lewis far side. Now Al for Willie. All ball to Cobb. And it deflects off a Crowell. Point for Carson-Newman. Emma Grace Cobb, her 7th kill on the evening. Carson-Newman doing something very similar that did the other night as Cobb overpowers Crowell at the net. Carson-Newman was battling a little bit with Emery and Henry. Comfortably took the first 2 sets, but really pulled away in the third. As now Burrows, big swing. McCombs with the dig. All ball far side of Weaver. It's blocked but out of bounds. Skylar Weaver with her 13th kill. And Carson-Newman leads 20-9. Timeout for Tusculum. It's all Eagles here in the 4th set, looking to win this one 3-1. They're 5 points away from victory. We're going to take a quick break and be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman leads set 4, 20-9. 5 points away from a big victory in the SAC. Mentioned it was a bit of a rocky start for this Eagles team, but they've certainly straightened things out. 2-0 in the SAC and look like they're well on their way to going 3-0. Big matchup here with Tusculum. Tusculum certainly brought a crowd tonight. They've been loud all night, so has the Carson-Newman side. It's been a lot of fun here at Holt Fieldhouse as Julia Wheeler will serve again for the Eagles. Received by Sanders, but it goes under the net. Service ace for Julia Wheeler. Her great night continues. Her 4th service ace of the night. 10 kills for Wheeler. 11 digs, 4 aces, and 1 assist. As Wheeler serves. Lewis far side for Willie. Blocked at the net. Gets off the hands of Al, and it falls. Pass the diving attempt by Sanders. And Julia Wheeler once again with a big serve there for Carson-Newman, and the rest of her teammates come together. It's now 22-9. Wheeler with the serve for Carson-Newman, received by Burrows. Lewis now near side Burrows. McCombs to Allball. Now big swing by Langford, but she pushes it far. Much needed point for Tusculum. As Adkins checks back in, as well as Thompson. Willie and Lewis check out. Adkins goes back to serve for the Pioneers. Eagles 3 points away from victory here tonight. Adkins with the serve. McCombs receives. All ball near the net. Big swing for Langford, and it gets off of Sanders after the deflection by Burrows at the net. Nice job there for Carson-Newman and Molly Langford to score. Looked like Burrows and Crowell got a piece of it. Sanders couldn't quite retrieve it. As McCombs will serve. 23-10 the score. Late in set number 4. Big swing by Thompson right into the net. It's 24-10 and set point. Match point for Carson-Newman. The crowd here at Holt Fieldhouse getting into it. Carson-Newman with a chance to take a big one. As McCombs serves, Sanders receives. Atkins sets for Burrows. Big swing. McCombs with the dig, but out. Point for Tusculum. Burrows not ready to give this one up quite yet, as she'll go back to serve. Maya Burrows now with 15 kills for Tusculum, leading the team. Burrows with the serve. All ball now far side. Adams big swing. Sanders with the dig. Now Thompson. All ball keeps it alive. Wheeler keeps it in play. McCombs pokes it over. Al now to Atkins. Big swing by Crowell. McCombs with the dig. Adams far side, and it gets down. Taylor Adams scores. Carson-Newman wins 3-1. Taylor Adams finishes the night with 15 kills, the 15th being the biggest one of tonight's matchup, putting it cross court off the hands of Crowell. The rest of the Pioneers couldn't get to it, and Tusculum falls to Carson-Newman. The Eagles move to 3-0 in sack play. What a night here from Holt Fieldhouse. Carson-Newman gets it done 25-11 in set 4, taking the match 3-1. Ryan Wilkes signing off from Holt Fieldhouse here on the Eagle Sports Network.